Under the quiet shade of the Bodhi tree, Buddha sat in profound silence, his presence calming the surrounding air. His disciples had assembled at a distance, hesitant yet drawn to the radiant wisdom emanating from his serene form. One disciple approached cautiously, his footsteps barely stirring the earth. He carried questions, but uncertainty held his voice captive. Buddha opened his eyes, the ancient depth within them gazing into the disciple's turmoil. His expression softened into compassion. The disciple kneeled, his head bowed in reverence. "Master, I struggle with isolation and its overwhelming weight." "My son," he said, "the cold you feel is not merely of the body but of the mind and heart." He gestured for the young man to sit closer, inviting him into the circle of warmth created by the gathering. "Solitude is a sanctuary, not a prison." The disciple hesitated. "But Master, when I am alone, I feel consumed by loneliness. It shadows my thoughts and burdens my heart." Buddha regarded him thoughtfully, his silence stretching briefly before words emerged as reflections of timeless truth. "Loneliness speaks of fear. To face solitude requires courage," Buddha continued, "for in its quietude lies the confrontation with one's inner turbulence and desires." The disciples' eyes filled with doubt. "But Master, how can we learn from solitude when it brings pain instead of peace?" Buddha's gaze rested upon the disciple, his patience boundless. "Peace is born from understanding, and understanding grows when one listens deeply. Solitude unveils our truths," Buddha said, "truths hidden beneath noise and distractions. They arise when the heart finds stillness." The disciples sat in thoughtful silence, some with furrowed brows, as they wrestled with the contradictions in their own minds. Ananda, with his ever-inquisitive nature, broke the silence. "Nature thrives in its solitude, united yet apart. Solitude mirrors the nature of existence," Buddha explained. "For life flows independently even amidst connections and dependencies." The disciple looked toward the leaves, their quiet harmony stirring a sense of wonder within his conflicted thoughts. "Is solitude natural?" Buddha's smile was gentle. "Solitude is the essence of growth. In quietude, the roots of wisdom find soil to anchor." "But Master," the disciple asked, "if isolation nurtures growth, why does it feel as though we are withdrawing from life?" Buddha shook his head softly. "Withdrawal from life stems from misunderstanding solitude's purpose. It binds us closer, not farther. Solitude cultivates inward reflection," Buddha said, "bringing awareness that surpasses momentary pursuits and distractions clouding the mind's clarity." The disciple closed his eyes briefly, the words resonating deeply, their wisdom settling like gentle rain upon dry earth. Buddha rose slowly, his movement deliberate and graceful, signaling to his disciple to rise alongside his presence. "Walk with me." Together they walked amid nature's embrace, silence stretching between them, each step symbolic of forward movement amidst stillness. Buddha gestured toward the sky, its vast expanse unfurling beyond imagination. In solitude, the mind's limitations dissolve, merging into vastness. Isolation can overwhelm initially, Buddha said, yet acceptance transforms it from daunting void into liberating depth. Free of constraints, the disciple gazed upward, the limitless sky sparking an internal question. "Master, how do we transform isolation into liberation?" Buddha's smile carried warmth. "Through surrender. One surrenders assumptions, relinquishing resistance against solitude's revelations and embracing its enlightening lessons." "Master," the disciple asked, "if solitude offers liberation, does it also teach compassion, though isolation separates us from others?" Buddha nodded slowly, his hands resting lightly beside him. "Compassion flourishes from understanding oneself, fostered within solitude's reflective silence. Without solitude," Buddha said, "connections remain superficial. devoid of depth, born from inner harmony and self-awareness shared outwardly. The disciple paused thoughtfully. So solitude strengthens relationships, though seemingly severed by isolation's apparent boundary between souls? Buddha gestured gently, his words pouring with purposeful depth. Solitude enhances connections by grounding them in authenticity rather than dependency. The disciple's mind quietened slightly, the dawn of realization emerging amidst questions. Is solitude the beginning of wisdom? Buddha smiled once more, his gaze tender yet unwavering. Solitude is wisdom's cradle, nurturing growth through introspection and still awareness. The beginning of wisdom, Buddha continued, is the willingness to remain still. Even as thoughts tempt the pursuit of distractions, the disciple let the words settle, each phrase resonating like sacred chants whispered into the vast silence. Thank you, Master. Buddha motioned for the disciple to sit beside him, their presence merging harmoniously under the shade of the Bodhi tree. As stillness enveloped them, the disciple felt solitude transforming. Its previous heaviness now softened into a soothing sanctuary of growth. Buddha closed his eyes once more, his presence merging with nature's harmony, his wisdom planted firmly within his disciple's spirit. The surrounding silence deepened, becoming not absence, but resonance, a symphony of truth awaiting interpretation through quiet reflection, and thus, solitude unfolded as Buddha's teaching, its essence woven deeply into every breath his disciple carried onward. Another day, another journey brought Buddha and his disciples into the wilderness, where nature stood untouched and alive with serenity. The group paused, the rustling leaves and distant bird songs filling the air, painting the canvas of tranquility around them. In the midst of their walk, a lone traveler emerged from the thickets. His eyes heavy with exhaustion and despair, he approached slowly, his steps uncertain, his demeanor wary yet drawn to the peaceful aura emanating from the group. Buddha observed the traveler, his compassionate gaze meeting the man's soul as he paused and waited for words to emerge. The traveler bowed low, his voice trembling. Wise one, I wander endlessly, seeking peace but finding none. Can you show me the way? Buddha gestured kindly, inviting him to sit upon the earth where wisdom, unassuming yet profound, would be planted like seeds. What burdens you most upon this journey of endless seeking? Buddha's tone was calm, its weight gentle yet deliberate. The traveler's hands shook as he spoke. The weight of loneliness crushes me. It follows me, relentless and unyielding. Buddha's expression softened. Loneliness is the shadow cast by unmet understanding. We fear being with ourselves, thus seeking distractions endlessly. The traveler lowered his head, his thoughts racing amidst emotions. I walk alone, yet feel no strength, only emptiness surrounding me. To walk alone, Buddha began, is to confront oneself, but it requires not rejection, rather, embrace of the solitude offered. The traveler hesitated. But how can solitude offer anything when the silence feels deafening? The stillness unbearable? Buddha nodded lightly. In unbearable stillness lies the voice of truth. It speaks when we quieten the mind and listen. The disciples listened intently, their attention drawn to the dialogue flowing like water seeking pathways amidst rocks. Buddha continued, his words resonating deeply. The silence is not absence, but presence. The presence of your essence, pure and unburdened. The traveler's trembling subsided slightly, the hope in Buddha's words beginning to erode the walls of his despair. But what of connection? The traveler asked, must one sever ties and drift endlessly in isolation to know truth? Buddha's smile carried wisdom and warmth. Solitude does not sever ties. It deepens the roots of connection, fostering clarity and compassion. The traveler's eyes lifted slightly, his thoughts expanding. How does compassion arise when isolation separates us from those we might love? Buddha gestured towards the surrounding trees. Their branches intertwined yet individual. Compassion is born from understanding oneself in the stillness. When you see your own struggle, Buddha explained, you recognize it within others. Solitude cultivates the soil of empathy. The traveler's breathing steadied as these words eased his mind. And what if the loneliness never ends? Great teacher? Buddha looked towards the sky, its vastness reflecting infinity. Loneliness transforms when viewed not as absence, but as space for growth. Master, a disciple interjected hesitantly. How can we guide others as you guide us without words? Without your wisdom embodied? Buddha faced the disciple, his expression calm. Guidance is not limited to words. Your presence, if rooted in truth, speaks volumes. To guide others, first guide yourself, Buddha said. Seek solitude not as isolation, but as alignment with your inner being. The traveler's hands rested upon his lap. The trembling now stilled, but this journey seems eternal. Never yielding peace, Buddha gestured towards the flowing stream nearby. It sounds soothing. The stream flows endlessly, yet finds harmony in its course. Do not seek to end the journey, Buddha said. Instead, find peace within each step. Each moment's unfolding. The traveler's gaze softened, his perception subtly shifting. And what if fear arises again, drowning hope with its overwhelming tide? Buddha's words were measured yet firm. Fear is the mind's mirage. Solitude reveals its illusory nature, dissolving it into the calm of clarity. The wilderness seemed to breathe in unison with Buddha's words, the rhythm of truth harmonizing with nature's eternal flow. The traveler looked at his hands, now steady. How can I begin to find the peace you speak of, great teacher? Buddha rose slowly, inviting the traveler to rise. Begin by being still. Allow the moment to unfold without resistance or judgment. Master, the disciple asked, is this why you often retreat into isolation, away from us and the world's turbulence? Buddha nodded. Through solitude, I renew my understanding, finding truth not in the noise of life, but its quiet heart. Isolation, Buddha said, is not rejection, but invitation, an invitation to meet oneself and embrace the essence of existence. The traveler felt the weight of his despair lightening, replaced by the growing spark of realization and hope. Buddha motioned for all to sit together, forming a circle where wisdom would flow. Uniting their hearts and minds, he spoke gently, addressing everyone. We are never truly alone. Solitude connects us to the universal flow of all existence. In this flow, Buddha continued, you will find that isolation dissolves, replaced by oneness with all that simply is. The traveler wept, his tears flowing freely like the nearby stream, cleansing his soul of accumulated sorrow and misunderstanding. Buddha rested his hand upon the traveler's shoulder. Carry solitude not as a burden, but as a companion guiding you within. The disciples bowed their heads, their reverence profound as they absorbed the wisdom poured forth like a sacred river. Buddha closed his eyes, the silence enveloping them once more, a silence rich with the unspoken truth of the traveler's transformation. The wilderness seemed to echo Buddha's teachings, its harmony resonating through each heart present in that sacred moment. Another day, another moment of stillness enveloped the grove where Buddha rested. His disciples gathered around him in quiet reverence. The sun filtered through the trees, casting golden patches of light upon the forest floor, a tranquil scene of natural harmony. Amid this peace, a young disciple approached Buddha hesitantly, carrying questions that weighed heavily upon his heart and mind. The disciple bowed deeply, his voice trembling with emotion. Master, I yearn for truth, yet confusion clouds my vision. Please guide me. Buddha opened his eyes slowly, his gaze calm and filled with compassion, radiating wisdom born from profound understanding and patience. Speak. My dear disciple, Buddha said gently, tell me, what troubles your heart so deeply that it disrupts your peace? The disciple hesitated before speaking. Master, I struggle with silence. In it, I find not clarity but chaos that overwhelms me. Buddha nodded knowingly, as though he had anticipated the disciple's words. Chaos within silence is the voice of your unexamined mind. In the stillness, Buddha continued, your thoughts reveal themselves without distraction. They clamor for attention like waves against the shore. But Master, the disciple asked, how can one find peace when the mind refuses to quiet, and the chaos persists? Buddha gestured to the stream nearby. Its water flowing steadily, the stream flows regardless of obstacles, finding its path naturally. Like the stream, Buddha said, your mind must flow, instead of resisting the chaos. Observe it with calm awareness. The disciple frowned, struggling to grasp the meaning. But what if the chaos grows stronger, overwhelming the mind entirely? Buddha's smile was gentle. When the storm intensifies, anchor yourself in the breath. It is the thread connecting you to stillness. The breath, Buddha explained, is the silent refuge, unchanging and steady. In its rhythm lies the key to inner peace. The disciple inhaled deeply, his breath uneven with lingering tension. Does this mean I must embrace silence, no matter how difficult? Buddha's gaze deepened. Silence is the teacher that does not speak. Its lessons are profound, yet require patience to uncover. But Master, the disciple said, why does silence feel so isolating? As though it separates me from the world's embrace? Buddha pointed to the sky, where a bird flew gracefully. Does the bird feel isolated when it soars alone in freedom? Isolation, Buddha said, is an illusion created by the mind. Solitude connects you to the essence of all existence. The disciple looked down, his mind absorbing Buddha's words like seeds settling into fertile soil, waiting for growth to begin. Master, the disciple asked, is it possible to find joy in silence, even when the heart longs for connection with others? Buddha nodded. Joy arises not from external connections, but from the harmony within. Silence nurtures that harmony into blossoming truth. The disciple bowed his head, his heart slightly lighter, yet questions still lingered, seeking clarity amidst the depth of wisdom. Master, the disciple said, what if solitude reveals pain I cannot bear? How does one face such unbearable truths alone? Buddha placed a hand gently on the disciple's shoulder. Pain is the stone that polishes the mirror of your soul. To face pain, Buddha continued, is to embrace growth. It reveals the parts of yourself longing for healing and light. The disciple's eyes brimmed with tears, his inner struggle palpable. But Master, what if that light feels too distant to reach? Buddha gestured toward the horizon, where the sun began its descent. Even when unseen, the sun's warmth remains constant and unwavering. The light within you, Buddha said, is eternal. Silence allows you to uncover it, even when it feels far away. The disciple wiped his tears, his heart trembling with a newfound hope kindled by Buddha's words. Soft yet profound, Buddha motioned for the group to sit, forming a circle where the unspoken connection among them grew stronger through shared stillness. He addressed them all, his voice resonating like the melody of a gentle breeze. In silence, the truth of unity emerges. Though each of you may walk your path, Buddha said, in silence, you will find that all paths converge as one. The disciples bowed their heads, their hearts united in reverence for the timeless wisdom shared by their master. Now deeply rooted, Buddha closed his eyes once more, his presence merging with the surrounding tranquility, a beacon of peace amidst the grove. Truth is universal yet unique in its perception, the Buddha answered. It is the constant flow, shaped by individual understanding. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.